Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Thank you to my subscribers and welcome to the newcomers. I hope you like what you see, and if you do, please subscribe, like, share, comment. It helps to grow the channel. I thank you so much for your beautiful comments on the Facebook groups, crochet groups that I'm in. You guys are awesome. I can't thank you enough. I'm so humbled by it. Today we're going to continue on with the table runner Prescilla, which is the table runner set of the Plate Mat Dollies Prescilla. To finish up the whole set, this is in the name of my beautiful cousin Prescilla Sanchez that I absolutely adore so much and very proud of her and her business. She's got the bling business, very inexpensive. She works for Paparazzi accessories and jewelry. So very beautiful sets, and she loves those blings. That's why she's involved in that business, and she has her own live shows on Facebook, which I am going to link her Facebook and Paparazzi links into the description box for you bling lovers that want to buy sets. They go for $5 a piece. Bracelet, rings, chokers, necklaces, hair pieces. Hair clips, I should say. Even for men's bracelets, also in leather and many other different colors and products and whatever and whatnot. So I'm going to link all of that on the description box. She sells only on the US, so you lucky Americans, you can shop until you drop. It's just gorgeous. It's worth dropping in, check it out, and even just join the group. She created a beautiful family group on that site that she created. And, just go in, watch the show. We have a lot of fun and joke a lot and have good laughs. She's an awesome human being. You'll love her personality. She's very bubbly. So that's for you, my dear Prescilla. This is the last piece of the dining room table set with bling. Like I had explained, sometimes these are very, very shiny bling threads, which I am going to finish up doing the table runner. I love you very much. I hope you enjoyed the set, my dear. This was done with lots of love and very proud of you. So it makes me proud to name this Priscilla because it's just as gorgeous as you are. And I hope you get to enjoy it. And don't ever forget that I love you and I'm always here for you, okay? So for everybody else, I hope you're going to create this beautiful piece with me. So I'm going to use all the same colors as I did on the last table mats for the plates. I also want to talk about the 1 kilo thread. This is 100% thread, size 4. This is mostly what I work with. I have ordered the size 6, but it's taking a while to arrive because these arrive from Brazil to Portugal through a lady that orders them. So I'm also going to leave that link below if you're interested on the thread. A lot of you on the crochet groups ask me about the thread because there's multicolored threads and many different colors, gorgeous colors. And she sells these cones of thread. This is 1 kilo. It's about 1,100, between 25 and 50. I'm not too sure, but it's around there. It's very well worth buying it. It goes for almost €9 because this is in Europe. So if we make the exchange, depending upon the exchange rate, we're looking at between $14 and $16. Even if you have it shipped out for $5-6 more, even if it costs totally a $20 flat rate for for a 1 kilo, you're still in the game, because most of the time I remember buying 50 grams for $13.99, $12.99 for 50 grams only. This is over 1,000 grams. So for that price, you cannot go wrong. It gives you a lot of patterns, and it's very soft cotton and very well good to work with. She has in many, many colors. I will also leave her link to the YouTube channel. There's a few colors on there, but more colors on her Facebook page. So I'll link that in. You can communicate her directly. I'm just helping you guys out because there's a lot of requests on where do I get my threads, because a lot of you see many different colors that I use. So it's a favor for you guys that I'm doing to get contact with her if you'd like. I'm going to also leave her son's email. He speaks English, so you can get all your information through him. She has mentioned that you can pay by PayPal, and I guess for some of you that don't have account, you can Western Union her, whatever the case may be. Could be also bank transfer, but that's going to take a few days because it's international, so that takes a little bit more time. But yeah, I don't gain nothing by this. This is a favor I'm doing to you guys. I don't get no discounts, and I don't get special privileges. I believe in everybody earning their piece of bread. I don't ask for them either. I pay my price like everybody else. So it's just a favor for you guys that I'm doing, because a lot of you want some of these colors and you can't find it in your countries. So you have that opportunity to get it from her if you wish. So we are going to get started. Thank you so much, everybody. The Saber Runner is going to run probably about 400 grams of it, because it's going to be a long one for a 6-seater. So it's for a long dining room table. This is perfect, especially for Christmas time, since it's all bling bling. You're going to have all your decorations. I mean, it's good for all year long if you're just a bling bling person, but I'm saying especially in Christmas, when you have all your decorations up and your Christmas tree and the lights and whatever, it's going to reflect a lot on these bling bling threads, because they shine a lot. Camera does not do its justice for the shine that they have. They really, really shine quite a bit, but I really cannot get the camera to pick up on the shyness of this thread, but it's wonderful. Reminder also that these threads that come from Brazil, here in Europe, the threads, the bigger the number, the thinner the size. Brazil is the contrary. The bigger the number, the thicker the size. So she runs from 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and 24 thread, which is perfect for carpets, mats, bedroom carpets, bathroom carpets, you name it. Rugs, it's just, you know, the 18, 20, and 24 is perfect for that. And she has on many colors. So just to let you know. And so it's thicker. This is size 4, so I've ordered the 6. The 6 is a little bit thicker than this. If it would have been here, the 6 would have been this thin. I mean, this is thin compared to this 4, if you realize. I know it's kind of hard on camera. This is a 4 and this is a 6, but this is European 6, so very, very thin, and this 4 is way thicker. So the 6 from Brazil is way thicker, and I think it's worth it because it creates beautiful patterns and bigger sizes without so many stitches. You get your size pretty well. Okay, so we're going to get started, people. For the newcomers, I hope you're going to enjoy this, and if you do, subscribe, don't forget to hit that bell notification for new uploads. So let's get started, people. Okay, so I'm going to start by a chain of 18 stitches, okay? I know that sometimes you guys wonder when I say lock in and small stitch and things like that. It's because I'm more into saying it in Portuguese than I am in English. This is a very new channel. This is all being done in English, so I'm still getting used to how you guys call it, the DL and DCs and this and that, all these codes, which I don't know. So because I don't know these stitch codes yet, so I express it on my own little way that I know best how to explain it. I hope it works out for you guys. So I try to show it all the time as I'm saying it. So you know what I'm talking about when I'm saying you lock in, you do small stitch, you do a regular stitch, because I don't know the codes of the crochet yet, okay? Hopefully one day I will, but I still don't know. I'm still trying to pick up on it. Okay, so you don't count the first one that we made the knot. You count right away the next one. So I have 2 on there, 3, 4, 5, and until 18. Okay, so I did my 18 chain stitch. I also wanted to mention needle size 3, and of course you're going to need a scissor. Sometimes I forget to note this. Okay, so now we are going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on your sixth one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the sixth one, we're going to lock it in with a regular stitch. So you're going to have like this little loop there, okay? And right next to it on the next loop, next stitch, we're going to do a regular stitch. So we're going to do groups of 3 with 1 separation. So we're going to have 1 separation here. And again, 1, skip 1, go into the next one. Another group of 3. By the way, people, when I start doing these things, I have a plan in head what I want to create, but I always end up with something else because as I'm going, I keep changing the stitch. I visualize different, so it never ends up on my mind. I mean, on the result what I plan out to be. So it's always best also to advance the video. Look at the video a bit before you start your work, because I might change plans or change a stitch, might go back a little bit and take down a bit or make a mistake. So it's always best to watch the video a bit before you start doing your stitches. So 1 separation again. We're going to skip 1 and we're going into the next one. And we're going to make another group of 3 stitches. So you do on each loop. So far we have 3 groups. Now 1 stitch separation. We are going to skip 1 and we're going to do the last stitch here like that. And then, okay, so it's going to stay 1 loop on one side, 1 loop on the other side. And then we're going to do 4 stitch, 3 stitch, 2 and 3. Sorry. 3 stitch. We turn our work inside of the square that we just finished making. We're going to do our 3 groups. So this is going to be only about groups, okay? 1 separation. And you go into the next space. And you do your 3 groups again. This is very easy to do this center. This will be part of the center. 1 separation. And into the next square, empty square. And 3 here. So it's going to be like little squares like this, and we're going to go up 72 rows, I think, or maybe less. It's always good to advance to see how many rows I did. 1 separation, and you come inside here and do your last 3. Now, when we are doing the last 3, make sure that you put your 3rd regular stitch hooked inside of the corner here so it can stay straight, okay? Because if you just do it in that empty space, it's not going to look square. It's going to look like it's just stuck in there. Okay, so now we go up 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And I say 4 because 3 chain for a regular stitch, 1 separation, okay? And now we come inside again the squares. So nothing to this middle piece here. It's always the same until the length desired. So 1 separation. I keep doing 2, it's the habit. So I think I'm gonna go up 72, about 70, I don't know. I will see. That's why you should check in with me by advancing the video to see exactly how many rows I'm going to do of this. One separation. Now make sure you get it right on the corner here on the stitch. Whoops. And it's going to leave that next square. So we're going to have these little squares like this. There's nothing to it. You go up again, 3, and inside we're going to make that group of 3 again. One separation, and again inside of the other square. Very simple, nothing to it. One separation, and again. I mean, it looks so simple and so easy, and it is, but the end result is going to be gorgeous, because don't forget all of the flowers that we did around the plate mat, sorry, will have the same effect on here around this table runner piece. Just a reminder, let me grab that plate mat. So basically, all of these flowers we have on here, we're gonna have it at the end of this table runner. It's an oval, it's an oblong oval table runner. So we're gonna create these flowers on it also, and I am going to use all the colors that we've used on the table runner, on the plate mat. All the colors we use, I will be importing them into this table runner. Okay, so continue yours. I'm going to continue mine. You can advance the video to see how big I did mine. I wanted about a meter and a half, because it's a 6-seater dining room, so I'll let you know in a bit. Okay, everybody, so I pretty much did the middle, beginning of the middle, I did 51 rows. So 51 rows, as you can see. And now we are going to work on the sides of the center here. I'm just fixing my camera a bit, because I usually get off camera a lot, and that's not good. Okay, so I'm going to turn once. I'm using the white, and we are going to start not on the corner, we'll leave it when we get there, but the space right after. Try to hide your thread already, your yarn, whatever you're working with. And we go up 3. And we're going to do a group of 3 in here, like that. I'm going to try to see if 1 space is enough. If not, we're going to do 2 space. For people that have the large stitch, they can give it only 1 space separation. For people that have extremely tight stitch, give 2 separation. I'm going to try to loosen mine and give 1 stitch and see how it goes. If I see that it's pulling too much, I'm going to give 2 separation. So we're making groups of 3 inside of the squares. And we're going to do this all the way around, except for the 4 corners. It will be a little bit different. So do this until the corner. And when we get to the corner, I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay? So not complicated. Groups of 3s in the spaces. 1 separation if you have a large stitch. If not, then give 2 separation. I think mine's okay if I don't tighten it too much, or else I'm going to have to give 2 separation. I'll meet you at the corner. Okay, so we've reached the corner, one of the corners. The corners, by the way, will be the same. So one stitch separation. We're going to do the 3 groups inside here of the corner. Very simple. 1, 2 separation. Again, another 3 groups inside of the same corner, because we want to round that corner, right? So in order to round it, we need to have 2 groups on the same place, and then 1 separation again, and continue on with the 3 groups on each space. And all the corners will be the same way. So not complicated. 1 separation and 3 groups here again. Try not to tighten if you're doing only 1 stitch separation. I'm trying my best because I have a very tight stitch. Try to make it as loose as I can. And again, we're going to do the 2 groups again here of 3. 1, 2 separation, and another group in the corner again on the same place. One separation, and we go on the other side now and do the 3 groups like we just did on the other side. So you're going to do this to all 4 corners, not complicated, very simple. We want simple, but we want also beautiful. So this is what it's going to look like. Okay, I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so we've reached the end. We've locked in the 3rd place. We're going to walk through on the middle here to go to the next space. And into this space here. Okay. Now, this is going to be the same stitch again, 3 groups of 3. It's only going to change on the corners. So you do your 3 groups of 3 on the spaces. And when we get to the corner, we're going to change up a bit. I'll come and show you how we're going to change so we can have a nice rounded corner. Okay, so you're going to do this all the way through on the sides. Only the edges will be different. Okay, everybody, so we pretty much did all the side the same way as we did this one with 1 separation. And before I forget, I think I had forgot to mention that when we finish whatever size you want, you don't have to do 51 rows. You can do 61, 60, 71, 76, or whatever. You can go as big as you want, and you can go as smaller as you want. You can make it smaller than this. So you started with a square, a 3 group separation, 3 group separation, 3 group, and then the square at the edges. So you started that way, you have to finish that way. You don't finish with the ones that have 4 groups of 3. You have to finish, close it up, cut your thread, your yarn with the 3 groups of 3 and the squares on the corners. We started that way. So always on any pattern, whatever way you start your stitch, you have to finish the same way. Okay, so now we're getting into the corner, 1 stitch separation. We're going to give a 5 stitch in here. So double stitch 5 times. You know me, I still have a hard time with codes of the crochet. I don't know them, so I try to explain it the best I can my own way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have 5, 1 separation, and we're going to do 5 in here also. 1 separation, and 5 here also. So these groups of 5s will be at the edges, from the corner to the edge. On the sides will stay the groups of 3. Again, 1 separation and another group of 5 regular stitches, double stitch. And again, 1 separation on the corner, another group of 5. And then the sides proceed the same way, the group of 3s with 1 separation. So this is pretty much going to round up the pattern. And then 1 separation, and we go into the side. So you're going to do your 4 corners the same way. Nothing complicated. Pull it back so you can see. So the sides will be the same. 3 groups, 1 separation. Come to the corner, 5 double stitch, 5 groups, 1 separation, 5 groups, 1 separation, 5 groups, 1 separation, 5 groups, 1 separation. Come to the corner, 5 groups, 1 separation. You start your 3. I'll meet you at the end. Do your 4 corners. The edge, this edge and the other edge has to be the same way. The rest is the sides. The 2 sides will be the groups of 3. So we've come to the end. We're going to lock it up on the 3rd place. I got some thread here. I wish I had something. Machine throwing me some thread constantly. Again, we're going to walk in the middle here to go to the next block. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to repeat the same thing. Blocks of 3, groups of 3, I should say. 1 separation, so the side again will be the same thing as the previous 2 rows. And it only changed up the game again on the corners, so we'll repeat the same thing on the sides. And I'll come back to you on the corner. So we can change it up a bit. So this side and this side will be the same. We're only going to change over here on the corner. Okay, you guys. So we're almost at the corner and we have 1 left. So we're going to change up the game a bit. That's why it's always best to advance the video a bit, look at it a bit before you continue doing, because as I go, stitches change. So 1 separation just before the corner, just before the 5. So instead of doing the group of 3 in here, we're going to do 1 overlapping the last one here. So 1 double stitch, 1 separation, and we're going to do overlap all of this, so all of the 5 stitches here, but we're going to add 1 on the same place on the last one. So we're going to have 2 together. So just before the corner, the last one, we did our group, 1 separation. We overlapped a double stitch on top of the last one here. 1 separation, we're overlapping the stitches, and on the last one we're going to do 2 together because now we're extending. 1 separation, and again the same thing, where we have the groups of 5, we are going to add 1 at the end of each group on the same place. So we'll have 2 together. Now on the edges here, you don't have to loosen it too much, your stitch separation, because it's a very small edge. So we're going to add another one on the same place. So we're going to end up with 2, 4, 6, 6 on the groups of 5. 1 separation. And again, we proceed doing 6 stitches, which that means 6 double stitch, which that means 2 on the same place on the last one. So right in here, we do the 5th and the 6th on the same place. 1 separation. And again, and one more on the same place. So now our groups of 5, we have 5 groups of 5, is going to turn out to be 6. One separation, and we do the 6 inside of the corner one. So this is the last of the group. So 5 and 6, like that. We turn our work, 1 separation. We're only going to give a 1 stitch. Same thing as we did here. We are doing here 1 stitch, 1 separation. Whoops. And we go back and do our groups of 3. So as you can see, it stays nice and round. So we're pretty much going to do the same thing in all 4 corners. So you know that you're only going to do a 1 stitch, double stitch, right after your last group. So we'll get to the other end again, and I'll repeat it so there is no mistake or confusion. Okay, so we're still on the side. This will be the last space we have before the corner. 1 separation, and just on your last stitch here, we're going to do 1 double stitch, 1 separation, and we're going to do now our 6 double stitch by adding 1 at the end of this group of 5. So 5, 1 more, 6, 1 separation, and we're going to add on the other ones, and then we're going to get here and we're going to do only 1. So I'll meet you there. Sorry, yeah, we're going to do the only one that's one by itself is on the sides. I hope I didn't make that mistake. So yeah, we're going to do the 6 groups right away. Same thing as we did on the other side, because sometimes I get confused by trying to explain and thinking and doing these stitches. So sometimes I have to come back and re-explain again to make sure that we are on the same page together. Okay, so we'll do this. So 5 groups of 6 now instead of 5 because we're adding. Okay, so we are in the corner. We did the last 3 groups. We don't do it here, obviously. So 1 separation, we do only 1 double stitch, 1 separation, 6, 1 separation, 6, 1 separation, 6, and we proceed until we get to the side. Just want to make sure that we understood each other. Okay, so as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 6 now. Now we're getting into the side. So as soon as we finish doing the 5th group of 6, 1 separation, and then we only overlap 1 here alone. 1 separation, and then we proceed with the 3 group. And 1 separation, and we add it here at the end. We walk through to the next space. And go up 1, 2, and 3. Inside again, we'll do the 3 group. 1 separation, and we proceed with the same groups on the sides until we go hit the corner. I'll come back and explain to you what we're doing next on the corner. So very simple, nothing complicated. And this is pretty much what it's starting to look like. So you got a nice round shape. So your stitch doesn't have to be on the 1 separation too loose, so it doesn't become, too loose either. What's important is that it doesn't tight up too much on the end, so it doesn't crumple up. And by the way, Celia, in case you're watching the whole video, I know that you love so much the blue and the lavender. That's why I'm creating this on these colors for you, because that's the colors you chose. I've also decided to put my nails lavender just for you, and of course with the bling bling. So in case you're watching, just to give you an idea that, this is so dedicated to you that I had to bling it all up with lavender and some bling bling rocks and so on, just for you, my dear. Okay, so we're going to continue on. I'll meet you at the corner, people. Okay, so we're almost at the end where we have that single stitch alone. So we're going to continue here, 1 separation. Now, where you have your 1 stitch alone, we're going to do 2 inside of here on this space. We're going to create the 3 group of 3 and 1 overlapping that single stitch. 1 separation. Let me just confirm. Okay, so we did 2 inside of here. We overlapped the other one right on top of the single stitch here. 1 separation. And we're going to continue doing the 5 groups of 6. This time we're going to add another one at the end. Now it will become 7. We have to keep adding so it doesn't become too tight on the corners. So instead of having 5 groups of 6, now we're going to have 5 groups of 7. So you add another one here in the end. 2, 4, 6, and 7. 1 separation. And we proceed again with 7 double stitch, overlapping the other stitches, and add 1 on the end. So nothing to it, very simple. Good God. And 1 more in the same place. One separation and continue on. So do that until we meet here. Now we've reached again here at the other edge of the corner, as you can see, and we have that one single stitch. So one separation, overlap it, you do 1 and 2 inside of the space here. So you'll have your group of 3, because the goal is you want to have the same line of 3s, and you proceed again with your with your group of 3s on each square. So you're going to repeat this, what you did on this side, on this corner, you're going to repeat it on the next corner the same way. If you have to rewind and see what was done, then do so. And also when you need to advance to see if I change up the game a bit. So it's always good to watch ahead, and if you get stuck, rewind and look at it again to do the same thing. Okay, so pretty much this is what it's starting to look like. Okay, so we're going to proceed the same way, and on this side, and then don't forget here. Oh, we already did that, so we're just going to do the same thing where the single stitch is. We need to add 2 in here and 1 overlap it, and on this side we need to do 1 stitch and 2 inside of the square, so we can have the group of 3 here. So it'll be the same thing on this side. If you need to rewind a bit, then go ahead. Okay people, so we finished doing this row, and now we did the 5 groups of 7, I believe, 2, 4, 6, 7. Now we're going to do 5 groups of 8, so we're going to add again 1 at the end, so it'll be 8. So it keeps growing, right? Over here where we had left only 1, we did the 3 up top, and now in this row we're going to leave 1 again. So this is how we're going to proceed. So we've locked in the last one. We're going to walk, I call it walking, through the middle of the stitch here. And this is a way not to have any marks on the pattern whatsoever. So I just stretch here my thread. And we're going to do the 3 groups of 3 all the way almost at the end, just before the corner. We are going to do that single stitch again. So I'll meet you before the last stitch, just before we turn, we get to the corner. So continue doing yours, the 3 groups with 1 separation on these spaces, and I'll meet you at the end. Again, so we are on the one before the last space, 1 separation, and again we will do the 1 stitch, 1 separation. As you can see, you can't go wrong because you follow the same bottom stitch. 1 here, 1 up top. And we're going to do the group of 8 now, because we're going to add another one at the end. And 1 more in the same place. 1 stitch separation. And again, we're going to add at the end. So we keep going up on the numbers, on the rows, on these groups. 7 and 8. Okay, so do yours. You're going to get here, as you see underneath we only have one, so you know you're going to put only one stitch here, and then one separation and do your groups. Okay, so I'll meet you there. Okay, so now we've did the 5 groups. As you can see here, we're going to leave only one. It follows the other one underneath, and then one separation, and you proceed with your groups. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing on the other side, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everybody, so we pretty much finished doing this row. So we're going to repeat this for another 2 rows. We're counting only the white rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we did 5 white rows. We're going to go until 7. So you know that here is going to be the same thing as we did. Next row, we need to add in here 2 and 1 overlapping the single stitch, which is exactly as we did the bottom. And here we have to keep adding 1 at the end. So now we have 2, 4, 6, 8. So we need to go 2 more rows, will be 10. We'll have 10 in there. And this is just the same, 3 groups of, the groups of 3, 1 separation. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to add 2 in here and 1 overlapping. So we're going to create the same thing as we have underneath here, right? And underneath here. So nothing changes. We're going to repeat the same thing as we did the next 2 rows. So I'll meet you at the end of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 7th row. So at the end of the 7th row, I'll meet you. So nothing changes. We're just adding here, and we're just doing 1 row, 1 single, 1 row, the 3 inside. Okay, so if you need to go back and rewind and see, then go ahead, or you just look at your pattern. You know that you have to fit your group of 3 inside of here with 1 overlapping the single stitch, right? So I'll meet you in 2 rows from now. So on the extension 10, that means you add 1 at the end. So next one is 9 because we finished doing 8, and the next row is 10 at the end of the 10. Okay, everybody. So what I did was I changed colors. You can change colors or you can continue with yours. So this is row with the 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So where I have 10, I've changed colors. I'm going into the 11 stitches on the 5 groups, and I put lavender. And then I'm going to do another row of white after this. So all the rows are the same now. I'm just changing colors as I go. The only thing that's going to change is at the end when we're going to add those flowers in all around. So we're going to do the next few rows. I don't know how many rows I'm going to go until, because I want to incorporate all the colors that I've used on the plate mats. I'm going to add them onto here. So I'm going to go with the flow. You could always advance the video and see further up how many rows I've done, but all the rows are going to be repeatedly. I'm just changing colors, alternating the colors to fit them all in. So I'll see you at the end that I finalize the last rows of this design, and then I'll show you how we're going to get into the flowers. So I'm going to continue mine, and you can advance the video and see up until how many rows I came up with. Okay. Okay, everybody. So we pretty much did until the lavender color. So after the lavender color, I went with white, I went with the lighter blue, I went with the silver and white, that bling bling, and I went with the baby blue. So that means I did 1, 2, 3, 4 more rows after the lavender. So all together, and the same stitch, counting from the white. So we have, counting from the white, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12 rows That means 11, counting from the first 5 double stitch here. Same stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 11 rows the same. If we're counting from the first row, the white, so we have 12 rows right after the blue. Now, I am going to get it prepared to very soon create the flowers around it. And what I want to do is I'm going to change up the stitch a bit to get it prepared for the flowers. So I am going to start right here at the edge. And we're going to do stitch over stitch. So basically it's going to be like the plate mats, just stitch over stitch on them. So the flowers can stand out pretty much on the white. So you're just going to do stitch over stitch. Sorry about all that construction noise, people. There's still construction going on and I have no control of the noise. Oof, I'm off camera, sorry. So stitch over stitch, pretty much start anywhere. Well, anywhere. I started at just before the corner. So we can, after, end it up over there. And this table runner is almost done. So it's a very simple one because we have pretty much the details on the plate mat and what's going to stand out on this first. Okay, these stitches are going to stand out no matter what, but the flowers are going to stand out. Okay, you're going to come where the space is. Get a little bit closer. So we are going to do one inside of the space and we're going to continue on stitch over stitch. So everywhere there's that space, we're going to create one inside. Okay, so even on here, the sides, I'll see if we need to create 2. I don't know. I'm going to get there and find out. If I see that it's pulling too much, then I'll put 2 stitches on the sides where the spaces are. So very simple, but it's going to be gorgeous because it has all the colors from the plate mats on here. So it's going to be a beautiful layout on the dining room table. And like I said, you could always extend it bigger or you can go shorter on your size by either extending more stitches on here or go smaller as you wish. Okay, so I'm going to get to the side here and see if I need to put 2 where the spaces are. Okay, everybody, so I've come to the first space, or should I say the first space right after turning the corner, and it seems to be fine. So I put one inside, and then continue just stitch over stitch all the way around until you come and you attach it in here. And we're going to do one more row, stitch over stitch. Okay, so it's 2 of these rows, stitch over stitch, so when the flower lays over, it can outstand on the white underneath. So I'm going to do this row plus another row. So that means this is row 13, and we're going to do row 14. And then we're going to cut our thread and change color to do the middle of the stems of the flower so that we can create the next row after that for the flower petals. So 2 more, so 2 rows of this white. So until row 14, I'll meet you at the end of row 14. stitch over stitch, people, and where you have the spaces, one stitch inside. Okay, everybody, so we pretty much did the 2 rows just with stitches, which is 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 rows altogether, counting from the white. Now I've gotten my thread, and I am going to start doing the stems to prepare for the next row, which is the last row of the flowers. So I'd start pretty much anywhere you want to. And I'm using 2 threads here for these stems because I wanted to stand out in the middle of. Okay, so we go up 3, 4. Back on the same one, we're going to do little V's. Make sure that I'm on camera because that's just me. 1 separation. We're going to skip 1. We're going to go into the next one. 1, 2. And then in the same place, we're creating these V's. 1 separation, skip 1 into the next one. Don't tighten it too much when you're separating. 1, 2. One separation, skip 1, going to the next one. 2 separation into the same place. We're creating the V's. We're going to do this all the way around until the end, and then we can cut our thread. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everybody, so we're basically at the end, and as you can see here at the end, I have 2 spaces, which normally we skip 1 and we do the V on the next one. But no issue, there's 2 spaces. We're just going to skip the 2 spaces. It doesn't change anything in our pattern. And we lock it in. So we are going to cut it because now we're going to do the flowers. So I'm just going to pull the thread inside of the middle here because the flowers are going to hide it. And I like to pull it with the smaller needle because it's much easier. And of course my stitches are always so hard, so tight, I should say. Cut the excess off. Now we're going to turn our work to the wrong side, the back side, because you want your flower, the same thing as the dollies, you want your flower to fall in the front, so we have to work from the back part of it. I am going to use that sparkly blue. So, as you can see here, I have the normal blue and then the sparkling bling blue. So I'm going to mix them together. This is a size 4 and this one is There is no size for it. There's no size on this bling bling one, but it looks like to me it's a Portuguese size 12, which is small. Because don't forget, like I mentioned, the Portuguese sizes are totally different than the Brazilian sizes. The higher the Brazilian sizes are, the thicker it is. So, and I have the regular 4 on the blue, the regular blue, and then the bling bling is like a 12 to me. That's what it looks like. Okay, so we're gonna work on our back part. I'm gonna start the flower from the back, because once we finish doing the flower, it's gonna be turned to the right side of the pattern. I'm just getting enough thread here. Okay, so you can pretty much start anywhere. I'm gonna start as usual. Now we need 8 petals to create, actually 6 to create the flower itself, but 2 is for space, 2 petals for space. So you come in one of the V's, doesn't matter where, you lock it in, and then you turn once, and then you do your stitch. So 2 regular stitch, 3 regular stitch, 4 regular stitch, and 5 regular. So let me see now. 1 small, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 4 regular stitch. So we started with a small stitch. We do 4 regular, so that would be like 5 stitches already. And then we close in with a small stitch. So you have your first pattern. You'd come to the next space, lock it in with a small, turn once, do a regular double stitch. We're going to do that 4 times. 2, 3, and 4 regular stitches, and then we come in and we lock it in with a small stitch. So now you got 2 petals. I'm going to get you closer. You're going to come into the V now, small stitch, and we're going to do 4 double stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. With the small stitch we did equals 5, and another small stitch to lock in equals 6. Going to the next space, lock in with a small stitch, and do your 4 regular double stitch. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Come in, small stitch. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 petals. Let me just bring up this camera a little bit because we don't want it to be off focus here. Sometimes I'm not looking what I'm doing. So into the V again, small stitch, and 4 regular double stitch. 1, 2, 3, and 4. With the small stitch that we created right from the start makes 5, and then with this one makes 6. So we have 2, 4, 5. We need 8 of them. And then again. So I'm gonna do my 8 and come back to you. Okay, people, so now we have our 8 petals created. One, so you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we have our 8 created. We're going to leave 2 out as space. So you would come here between, leave 2 out. You'd come from behind with your needle into the middle of the 2 spaces here, with leaving 2 out at the beginning. And you'd come and you tie your petals together. You're going to give 1, 2, and 3. And why do I say 3? Because we don't want to tighten it up. We want it loose enough. You go into the next space and you start again. Small stitch for regular double stitch. And we're going to leave again the same thing. 2 petals separation. So we need to create 8 of them again. So it's always repeatedly the same thing all the way around. And 1 small stitch here. So we're going to leave 2 petals separation, as you can see here. Okay, so these 2 we're creating again will be the 2 separation, and then we have 6 more petals to lock in between here. So I'm going to show you now why we need to do it backwards. So your flower can face the right side. Okay, we're going to do it one more time together, and then you continue yours and I'll continue mine, and I'll see you guys at the end. So we have 1, and then we're going to do the regular double stitch to get some thread here. That's why I like to put it on the floor, because it just rolls everywhere. Thank God my floor is always clean. There it goes. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and 4 regular double stitch. 1 small stitch, go into the next space, 2, 3, 4, and small stitch. Go into the next space. Now you need 8 petals. Do your 8 and I'll come back again. Okay, everybody, so I did my 8 petals again, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Stretch your thread a bit. You're going to skip 2. That's right next to the flower. We're going to skip these 2. You come from the back, in the middle between both of them. You're going to grab your thread. You're going to lock it in and do 1, 2, and 3. Go into the next space, small stitch, and create your 8 petals again. So I'd consider this the double stitch. So it would be like 2 stitches already with a small stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and small stitch, 6. So you have 1 petal already. And again, next space. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Small stitch in the same place. And then go to your next space, small stitch, and 4 double crochet. And then small stitch after that. So it gives you a total of 6 inside to create a petal. So you create 8 of them again, and you do the same thing as on here. You leave 2 out, for space, and then it will be nice and fixed afterwards once it's all done, because now it's all crumpled up. I'll meet you at the end, and we'll see how it's going to look like if we need to skip some spaces at the end, if it doesn't meet up the right stitches, or if we need to jump some. Okay, meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, so I'm pretty much reaching the end of the flowers, and what I did was half blue and half lavender. Now, getting here to the end by counting, because we always have to leave 2 petals out, and we need 6 to do the flowers. If I went by the book, I would have had too much, and I wouldn't have enough to create another flower. So what did I do? I jumped here, as you can see. Get you up close. So I jumped 1 and 2. I've jumped 2. Now I'm going to jump again, and I'm only going to create, I have, let's say, these 2. That's the space, right? And I have 3 for the petal, and I need 3 more. So I'm going to go directly into the V and skip the space in between the V's, so I can have the 6 petal total. And it doesn't change anything on the pattern. Everything pretty much stays the same. Now I want to thank every single one of you that participating on creating this beautiful piece that I created for my beautiful, lovely cousin, Prescilla Sanchez. So I want to thank all of you so much. And if you get stuck somewhere, don't hesitate to email me and ask any questions. And Priscilla, I hope you enjoyed this set. This is in your honor, in your name. I love you very much. And I created this with lots of love, caring, and I hope everybody is well. Much love to you, the kids, your husband, and I will be remembering you a lot on this creation. So thank you, everybody. I love you very much. Much hugs to you, my dear. And for everybody else, just wanted to mention she is a platinum consultant for Paparazzi accessory jewelry. So I am going to link her Facebook link on the description box for all of you people that loves the jewelry. Very inexpensive, gorgeous sets. Beautiful, and she created an amazing group, like a family. So she does her live shows on Facebook on Thursdays and Sundays, and of course she all week long she posts these beautiful pieces up. So if you're interested, drop in, see the live shows. We have a lot of fun and good laughter. It's like a family. The only thing is she only sells on the US, not by her choice, but by Paparazzi's choice, the company that she works for. So my friends, join in, have some fun. And like I said, also all about the threads will be on the description box if you're interested on the threads also. So I am going to have pictures and a little video at the end with everything already set up so you can enjoy seeing. And thank you everybody again. And I'll see you on the next tutorial. Thank you so much, everybody. Please stay safe. Take care.